Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video, but here I am with a new one. This time I want to talk about things that I'm doing and changes that I've made kind of mentally that are really helping me to stay well. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a professional or anything, so just going to drop that disclaimer in there. I do have a history of working in mental health. It's definitely my experience, but I am literally just sharing things that are working for me right now in the hopes that maybe they might resonate with some of you guys who are watching. It's always good to share, right? In this video, I am going to focus on the three main massive things that are helping me literally on a day-to-day basis. So let's jump right in. The first thing is letting go of guilt. So what do I mean by this? I'm sure I'm not the only person who does this, but I blame myself for everything, absolutely everything. Maybe not things when you were like tiny and when you had no control over your life, but it's so easy for somebody with struggles to pin everything on yourself and your behaviors and your actions, anything at all that impacts the people that are close to you or a situation that you might be in. You just find a way to make it your own fault, even though it's not, and then you feel that you have to punish yourself for it, and so you guilt yourself, and you might, I don't know, not allow yourself to be happy, or you might self-harm, or you might isolate, or a million things that you might do because you feel like you deserve to feel a certain way, like a bad way. And a perfect example for this for me is my last episode last month when I was unwell and I in and out of A&E and I went to hospital for a short time, meant that I didn't see my children for maybe a month. I think it was a month. And so then that was my fault because I was unwell and then I wasn't seeing them, and then therefore I was hurting them, and then therefore I'm a bad mum and blah 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 blah. You see where I'm going with this. So the way that I'm kind of letting go of this is when I was in hospital, things were really bad. It was really bad. I at that time honestly did not see how I was going to come out the other side of it and how I was actually going to continue living life. Like I just didn't. It didn't seem possible. And now that I've managed to kind of come out of the other side of that, I've kind of decided enough is enough. If I'm going to choose to be alive and continue to be here and not end it all, surely I should have some kind of quality of life. There may be things that you do or have done that some people around you might not like or agree with, or you can't please everybody, and that's just a fact of life. Whatever your situation is, chances are the people around you are telling you that they don't want you to die and they want you to be alive and they want you to continue living your life and moving forward and being the best version of yourself that you can be. My mind has kind of gone, if I'm going to do that, then I need to stop guilting and punishing myself for all of the things that may be going on in and out of my life, because you can't do that. You physically cannot continue when you are day to day punishing yourself for everything. And I mean literally, like you might be not allowing yourself to be happy, or you might be isolating yourself from the things that you know bring you joy because you feel like you don't deserve them. You might be self-harming. All of these things, it comes down to feeling guilty and then therefore feeling like you don't deserve to be happy. But if that's a logic that you're going to live by, and a logic that I've lived by for quite a long time, I've kind of just woke up one day and gone, even if that logic does apply and you are going to punish yourself, at what point have you been punished enough? I suppose this is relative for different situations. I would say that the way I treated myself, for example, last month, which wasn't good, and the constant harming myself for months, like literally months. Is that enough? Have I been punished enough now? I feel like I have. You could argue that it wasn't even punishable and that you shouldn't be punishing yourself for this, and that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. Even if that's the mindset you're going to use, when does it end? If you're going to carry on and you're going to be here, you don't deserve to be guilting yourself and punishing yourself the whole time. You don't deserve to have, wait, how old am I? I'm 25. I don't know how long I'm going to live for. Say another 50 years of life where you're constantly torturing yourself for whatever thing. It might be something that's not even your fault, or there might not even be a situation. It's very easy to punish yourself just for being who you are, because you start thinking, oh, everybody deserves better, and oh, I'm a letdown to everyone, I'm a failure to everyone. You know what I mean, right? These thought patterns that just enter your mind and pretty much take over. But A, they're not true. B, enough is enough. And C, if you're going to choose to be here, then you deserve some happiness in your life. So that's that point pretty much summed up. The second big thing that I have done is kind of change my perspective, and I mean completely. I remember putting so so much pressure on myself, and hearing the people around me as well when you're in that situation, whether it was working in mental health and hearing the people that I worked with saying I'm not going to get better, or can I get better, or being in hospital myself and hearing the people saying I'm not going to get better, and me myself saying how can I get better, I want to get better. And that word better, what even is that? It holds so much weight and so much pressure to be better that I got to a point where I was like, I don't even know what better is. Like, I've been unwell for, I don't know, like a couple of solid years, that I actually don't know what better is anymore. And if I was to continue using the word better, then I would say that I am currently there, which is great. But I just feel like that word makes it seem quite unachievable, because when you start saying, oh, I want to get better, I want to be better, then you start building this ideology in your mind of what better looks like and putting it on a pedestal and thinking, oh, I'm never going to reach that. Like, I'm never going to be at a point where I don't have this or I don't have that I'm not feeling like this, or I don't have these thoughts or these behaviours. Better is gone. I don't want to be better. I've completely changed this in my mind from being better to just being well. I am happy being well, because I'm not going to be better. The things that I live with, I'm not saying aren't curable for certain people, they are. But for me, I know that I am going to continue to have these things for the rest of my life. If your idea of being better is a version of you where you don't have these problems, I'm not trying to dash anyone's hopes here, but it's kind of unachievable. So then you're going to be constantly feeling down and feeling like you're failing, because like I've said earlier, we, feel like we're failures for multiple different reasons. You're going to feel like you're failing by not achieving that one thing that you've got in your mind that is this word. By taking that away and kind of saying, okay, I'm going to have these things, I'm going to have these struggles, but I'd like to be well. I'd like to be at a point where, and whatever, well could mean different things for different people. Well, for me, is not self-harming, not smashing things up around me, going out and doing the things that I enjoy, being tired all the time, which I'm sure so many people deal with, but pushing on through that rather than sleeping all day, smiling, It's amazing how simple this sounds, but how much of a huge weight I really do feel like it's taken off of my shoulders. Okay, moving on. It honestly has made such a big difference, and I just feel like maybe it's something that doesn't occur to a lot of people, how much of a big difference something so small can make. But honestly, if you check in with yourself right now and say to yourself, whether you're in a bad situation or whether you're doing okay, if you say to yourself, oh, I want to be better, or how you felt when you wasn't okay, what better looked like for you, what does better look like for you? Like, literally ask yourself right now, what is better? Does that mean that you suddenly don't have one or many things that you struggle with and that you have to live with and that you deal with? If so, is that achievable? Is that actually a thing? Is it something that's a thing literally, like can you literally get rid of those things? Or is that a thing that's achievable for you? Or are you just putting too long of a road in front of you? Maybe you just want to get well. What would you be happy with? What is a point that you're content with? Right now, I still have some mood changes, and yeah, I still get a bit down or a bit withdrawn or a bit quiet. I still have PD, so I still have the PD traits of sometimes being a bit irritable for no reason, or being a pain in the arse to the people around me, or being really, really high and happy. It's fine, it's manageable. And when I get to those points now, I just remind myself that I am in that well place that I was aiming to be in. I'm not saying that everything's perfect, because it's not. Even though things are hard, and believe me, things are really hard, not mentally right now, but things are really hard. Environmentally, is that like the opposite? Like the job I was meant to start fell through, and it's Christmas time, I have 2 kids and no money. There's nothing not stressful about that situation. But in myself, I'm well. That is something that has been made easier by this thought process, and I just felt it was so important to kind of say to other people, maybe that could work for you. And the final point that makes a huge difference for me, and this is I don't know, this is the biggest one. I don't think it is. It might be. Depends. This one is perhaps not for everyone. As I've mentioned before, I am a very spiritual person. I have quite a few different spiritual things that I enjoy and believe in. I'm not going to share all of that right now because it would take me the rest of the night. So this is kind of relative to that, but not exactly. And this is something, again, that can be kind of used by everyone. I like to think of myself, just for this example, everybody has their own energy, right? Whether people talk about auras or, just how they're feeling that day, you wake up in the morning with a certain amount of energy. Yeah, that's a good way to go with it. Let's just say we wake up in the morning and you have 100% energy, and then something happens throughout your day. My situation that I'm in right now is a good example. So I had a job lined up and it was meant to be all these good hours, good pay, fit in with what I needed in terms of childcare and stuff. It was meant to be starting immediately, and then I got ignored for a couple of weeks and then it fell through. So that's what happened. This situation sucks, as I said, but if I use all of my energy worrying about that thing, all I'm doing is draining from myself what I could be using today. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So this happened a few days ago. Obviously, it's still stressing me out. Getting through the day alone drains your energy, right? So if I now sit here worrying about this situation and feeling angry about the fact that I was ignored for 2 weeks when I was trying to chase up my start date, or how I was told that there was loads of hours and there's no hours, if I carry on feeling bitter and angry towards that, what's going to change? I'm literally not changing anything. All I'm doing is stressing myself out more, and now I'm more emotionally drained right now, and I've got less energy to use to get through the rest of my day, and then things hit me harder, and then by the end of it I'm more lethargic, or I'm more likely to be pissed off over something. What I mean is kind of choosing what you're going to spend your energy on. Me worrying and being mad and frustrated, it doesn't change what's happened, and it's not going to make anything better. Me using the energy to think, okay, that sucked, this situation sucks, but you know, it's happened, let's continue, makes a massive difference, because I'm not having this extended reaction to something. And this could be applied to anything. If you had an argument with somebody and then you've made up again or something, there's no point continuing being annoyed about that argument because it's done. Or somebody that like wants to have an argument with you, for example, what's the point in entering into that argument and going back to being like a teenager and being like having a back and forth when you could just be like, okay, cool, carry on. Do you see what I mean? Like if somebody else as well, this is very important for when somebody else is kind of doing something that's continued and would have your involvement, like an argument, if they want to go on and be unhappy and be angry or be whatever, that's fine. If somebody else wants to use their energy doing something, I'm wiggling around here because I'm doing hand movements so you can't see, but it's kind of helping me. If somebody else is wanting to spend their energy being angry or being mad, or maybe they're being out of order, maybe somebody's just, I don't know, being bitchy or something, let them continue. Don't let it take your energy away, because that's for you. That's for you to get through the day, that's for you to be well, that's for you to be happy, that's for you to go out and do the thing that you wanted to do today, or to get up and go to work today. This was a very big one, and I'm not sure if I'm explaining it as well as I want to, but I'm basically saying make a choice on what's going to affect you. It's kind of like sometimes dealing with the children, you pick your battles. This is kind of the same principle. Pick what thing is going to get to you. If you don't want to be spending the rest of your week feeling angry every time you think about a situation, then don't. And I know that that's easier said than done. It is. Like, I think about the work thing, it's really annoying. It is. But I'm just choosing to say, well, I don't want to be annoyed by it. What difference is it going to make? I really hope I haven't made these things sound like they're really easy and they're not. Anybody that's followed my channel and seen my last episode will know that I'm not trying to downplay anything here. Like, I'm not trying to say, oh, this is easy, but I don't know what it's like. I do know what it's like. I really, really do. But these things daily are making a difference, and reminding myself of these things daily are making a difference. And I'm not saying I don't get pissed off and I don't go over the top and I don't get in a strop or whatever. I do still have those things. I do still do those things. But the amount that I do it and the amount that it affects me and how long it affects me for is massively minimised. I don't know what's happened. I'm just making a choice. If I'm going to be here, then I want to actually be here. Anyway, I hope that maybe you got some kind of, I don't know, so at least something to think about from this video, something that might maybe resonate or might be worth saying to somebody else, or even just made you think, yeah, maybe she has a point. Or maybe I don't have a point. I could be talking rubbish. I don't know. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Wishing you guys well through this time. It is stressful on everybody, especially with Christmas coming up. No matter what's going on, as I said before, you have probably been in this situation before. You've probably been here before, and you can get through it again. So keep on doing what you're doing. Stay safe, everyone. And I will hopefully see you on my next video, which will definitely be sooner than a month. Okay. Bye.